So again, it's LB the Connector here with Culture X Commerce, and we have a curriculum for you. It's going to be taught. You're going to get lessons from the professor himself. Yes, we're looking forward to this conversation. It's going to be earth-shattering. He's going to talk about some times where he had to touch the earth, people mixing each other up, but also the crowd went crazy when he mixed up so-and-so. You got to stay tuned to know who that is. It's going to be wild. Let's go. We're just going to, for those who may not know who you are, maybe give a little bit of background about yourself.
Sure.
And then we'll go from there.
Yeah, so my name is Grayson Boucher. It's funny, like nobody knows my real name.
Right.
But better known as the professor. I'm a streetball player, YouTuber, creator. Been doing it for 22 years. I was actually the first sports creator back in the day. So here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. From the asphalt to the algorithm. He's still doing his thing.
That's like a book right there.
Let's go.
That's a book.
So, cool. So let's start with, we're going to go back, I guess, 20 plus years, 2003, rookie year, and one. Madison Square Garden, all of the things, right? And also, and let's start with this, because it's something I was looking into and trying to research, so the name, the professor, who coined it, and then I believe it was the MC,
Do Tango.
Okay, so and then he would always say, "That's my godson, the professor." Yeah. So tell me about the relationship and then when he coined that term, did you readily accept that name, or was it something that you felt like you needed to earn? Give us a little bit of background there.
It's always weird at first though. Somebody give you a brand new name.
Yeah.
So I remember when he gave me the name, I'm like, is it dope though? You know what I mean? Right. You don't know how it fits in, right? My idols were Hot Sauce, Skip to My Lou, Ayo. I'm thinking these are the greatest names ever.
Right. So
he gives me the professor. I'm like, do I even like that? I was like, wait, why you call me that? These are my thoughts.
Right.
And then I think it slowly just grew on me. But I think it was a little bit the way I looked, a little bit schooling people on the court.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, Duke Tango. Big shout out to Duke. That's family. Yeah. He said my godson because it was they adopted me. You know what I'm saying? That was kind of the relationship.
Okay.
I don't know where it came from initially. He just started saying it. I think he was just saying it because he was the only white guy in the space. So it's he's adopted. He's one of us. So godson. You know what I mean?
That's dope.
Yeah, but he's just so creative, bro. He'll give you something. It'll just fit. Think about it. He's still using. There's a lot of dudes using his creativity for life, right?
Man.
So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Shout out to that.
Yeah.
Cool. So we're gonna unpack the moment though, the mindset too. I'm thinking about. So I believe it was 77. And then there was...
I didn't even remember that.
Right, it's during the game. So it was a tie ball game. There was the ball... Someone shot and missed. Then they got tipped out.
They made it.
Okay.
Oh, there's 2 game winners.
There's 2 game winners.
Okay.
Yeah, so the one before...
you really know this stuff. You were watching.
So the one before the Madison, right?
Okay, So the Jackson, Mississippi, it bounced out. Somebody missed.
Yeah. And then it landed it was 8 seconds left. So... Walk me through that moment. What was the feels? You knew it was going in. What was the deal?
That one was interesting. That all the games were hype, but certain ones were more hype. That almost was so hype it felt like an overseas game. You know what I mean? It was at it was in Mississippi. I think it was at Jackson State.
Yep.
And
Jackson versus
N1. Some of those cities, not a lot going on. As opposed to a New York or LA, right? So you playing at Jackson State, it was super lit. And then David Banner did the halftime.
Oh,
he had that. Was it on the floor?
Oh,
get down on the floor, whatever.
Oh my goodness!
And I think that's his home state. Or it's his home state, right?
Yeah.
So he performed that at halftime. It was a shutdown, but the game was crazy. I mean, this is the peak of N1, so the anticipation for what we do never was higher, right? 03 was just it was insane. So. For me, I was just always trying to just make sure I just left it all on the floor. You know what I mean? Because in a game like that, you want to impress, but so much out of your control.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking be fundamental, but show out when you can, go as hard as you can. You know what I mean?
Right. That was the mindset.
And then we hadn't beat them yet. And one hadn't lost. They lost once the previous year, or was it never? Or maybe went one time early that tour, something like that. They only had like one loss ever.
Okay.
And so the game was winding down. I'm like, dang, we kind of have a chance to win. This is kind of interesting. But we had a squad, though. We had like D1 overseas players on our team. Like I had OGs. Mind you, I'm 18, just trying to figure it out.
Right.
But I had like real dogs. And then somehow we clicked. You know, sometimes you have good chemistry naturally. We were like super clicking. Nobody was trying to do too much. Everybody were playing their role. And then, and also like the three main dudes, we got to play a lot. I'm trying to think who was out there. Shout out to my homie Scooter, Violator. A lot of people might not know these names.
Violator. Let's go.
Who else was there? I can't remember their names exactly, but anyway, comes down to the last play. I was feeling good. I felt like I could have created from the top to go for the victory, but like I said, a lot of OGs were there, so I'm letting them shoot the final shot. So somebody shot it, bounced right back to me wide open. It's like, oh, we are. Let's fly.
Yeah, wearing number 8 too.
Yeah.
You know?
Just coincidentally. That's crazy. Yeah.
So I actually wanted to ask you that too. So thanks for walking us through the background there and the moment and the mindset. There's two things actually, because while we're on the topic about winning, but then also you want to mix people up too. You know, you got the handles, you got the dribbles.
Yeah.
But you talked about
in the flow of the game.
Yeah, in the flow of the game. You talked about that on the Netflix piece where you were saying like, well, no, we want to win too. Like, yeah, we want to have that showmanship, like, you know, show you up a little. But we also, and winning is important. So you're still competitive, right? You don't want to lose, right? So like you mentioned, like, no, we were trying to win.
Yeah, I think both are important. I think like if you want, especially if you want like global respect, or even just respect in the States nationwide. If you aren't winning majority of your games, like you're not gonna have the same kind of respect, right? You're going to lose, but you put on a show, it just doesn't hit the same.
Right.
Even when I play, like if I have a great showing, but then like you lost, it's just like whack. You know what I mean? Like not whack, but it just doesn't sit right with you as a competitor. Right. And that's what a lot of people don't know. It's actually unfair that N1 players, a lot of players were actually really high level ball players. Mm-hmm. Even there was the two docs came out one year, right? There's one on Netflix and one came out on ESPN. Okay. And they had that snippet of NBA players were like kind of like talking bad about N1 players. Mm-hmm. I wasn't on the ESPN doc because it was more about the origin of N1, like where it started. But I was low key glad it kind of like shaded my big bros. Like it's crazy because like AO number beast, like Alimo, AO. You know, if you're holding the scale that like nobody's good outside of NBA All Stars, all right, well maybe they make the cut. But like this is high level ball players, like very high level to the point where like we put on some of the most legendary games that ever been played. Like I can't believe the performances we were having during like the golden years at N1. We're talking like it was a video game. Like we're completing 80% of 90% of the plays. It's like a show every time down, like a highlight reel.
Right. And some played in the NBA
level, too. But you couldn't do that without being a high level ball player. You couldn't just have tricks. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not possible. It's not how it works. We're playing overseas ball players. Right. We're playing local professionals, street ball legends from that city. The only amateurs were the people like me. You just tried out that day. There'd be like one dude or two dudes at most that come in the building, be on the team. Okay. But they barely play usually. Okay. You know, like my game, I got on the tour. I think I played like 10 minutes, something like that. Maybe 8 minutes. And the only reason I got a little more time is because me and Hassas got like this battle and the crowd was liking it, so they let it ride out.
So now, when was this? Was this 03?
Yeah, this is 03 in Portland, Oregon.
Okay, because I know I was watching one where I know you said you idolized Hassas was one that you looked up to and so forth. Yep. And I know that he had put the crossover down on you. Yeah. And I was curious of like how did you feel in that moment, right? Yeah. Now after that, I want to know how you felt in that moment, and then prior to the coach, with the coach say that like give you that extra like okay, he said go right back at it.
Oh, you're talking about in Detroit? That's like the most viral clip nowadays. Yeah. So I had already planned. You know, that's halfway through the summer. This is more than half. We had already even taken like an intermission halfway through the tour. We're 20 cities in. It's like a 35 city tour. Okay. So we already had even went home for a break, and this is the first game back. I see. And so I had already got crossed. The sauce made me touch earth the first time we played. I got you. You know, so but this one was like next level. And then Detroit, another one gets some cities. Yeah. You from Detroit? I'm from Detroit, right? But the crowd went crazier for you when you got it flat back. Okay, yeah. So sorry. What happened was, it was always trippy because I was like guard my idol. I don't really know I started to catch on to how he played though as we went.
Right.
You know, first game, no idea. I'm all over the place trying to keep up, head spinning.
Right.
Then I started to like figure out a little more, see what he likes to do. So by this time, I actually felt pretty good about it. But if you're trying to play great defense, you know, you're liable to slip at any moment. And so he came, that was like in transition. So usually his stuff was in the half court, more at a standstill. So this one was like in transition. So I actually thought he was going to go to the basket. So when he pulled it back, it like slipped, you know what I'm saying? Touched the ground. But I almost actually recovered though.
Right.
I think I even probably hit him. He fell on the ground, but the shot when it was too late at that point.
Right.
But when I got it back, that was actually crazy because that was like a shutdown. We used to call it like a shutdown or like a floor run.
Okay.
So my head was spinning a little bit. I'm like, oh shit, I don't know how to top that. Like, I don't even know what to do. And then the coach, like you said, Big Mike, rest in peace, Big Mike. He actually just passed away. He was like, go right back at him. I'm like, oh sheesh, like what do I even do?
Yeah.
So I think I blanked out and I did every move I could think of at the moment. Like when I came back, I even did some of his moves against him.
Right.
And then on my pullback, I got him, and he like went for it.
He went for it.
I remember going to the bucket though. I put it up, and I got pushed. I think Saucy pushed me from the back, and I didn't even see the ball go in.
Right.
Like all I heard was the crowd go that much crazier. So that back and forth was like legendary back and forth. But you know, it was always an honor to share the court with my idols. You know, I looked up to the N1 players before I got on there, just as much or more than the NBA.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then Anoop, any thoughts?
Yeah, no, that was the era like when I was a kid, I was growing up and so forth. And then I would even say like a couple of things to like keep in mind also like for anybody watching is that you were the original YouTube sensations, right? Like when you talk about sports, it was those N1 mixtapes that'd be posted.
Yeah, you're right. That's what made me actually start a YouTube page because they would clip us up. Funny enough, it was like clipping before clipping.
Right.
Yes.
They would actually, there was a way you could record the TV show on your VHS, and then you could convert the VHS to digital. I actually didn't even know at the time how they did it. And then I ended up finding out, though, and I started my own channel because our mixes had like 10 million views a piece. Look, and it was so early in YouTube, if you just search basketball, my mix, it would like pop up. The database was empty. You know what I'm saying? The opportunity to kill it was just there.
Yeah.
And so I started, this is before AdSense, though. I did it just to get bookings. Because you could get a DM on YouTube back then. So I actually did it to get more live shows like in my off time. And then when N1 ended, I went all the way in. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. No, that's dope.
Early YouTube, yeah.
I like what you said there, though, the clipping before clipping. It's nothing new under the sun, right? So
yeah, it's great. They didn't have a word for it. You know, I would always say what did I say? I said they ripped our highlights off the ESPN show and made their own highlight mixes. So
they used to call them rips too, like DVD rips.
Yeah, it was the rips. Yeah, it was like
rips.
That's what it was. It was the rips. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. So now it's a rebrand.
Just bring it back, man. You know what I mean? Ripping and clipping.
Cool. So any other thoughts, questions you have in mind?
Yeah, absolutely. I could probably go on. Like, I think anybody who grew up in like the 2000s and so forth, right? We all watched the professors, clips and videos to learn the ball handling moves, go to the court and everything, right? I wanted to ask you, like, you've really seen, like, to your point, going from the clips, going from the YouTube rips and so forth to now in 2025. And so, how have you seen that journey of a content creator change from back then, like, let's say 2005, coming up to 2025? So.
Man, it's crazy because it changes like twice, 2-3 times a year. I feel like I don't know though, but then again, like sometimes it'll be the same for like 3 years and then it'll hard switch up.
Right.
But I think like I lost track of how many times it changed and evolved, And then I think what was vital for me was always being in touch with the young people because they're the audience that kind of dictates how it's going to run.
Right.
They tell us what apps are hot. Like when TikTok blew up, it's like the young people were all on it, so we all had to. So it kind of like follows the young generation who's the most tapped into culture.
Yep.
So I think for me, always keeping young people on my team and kind of like having friendships with younger people kind of like keep me hip because it's easy to get old and stay
Language
old.
change.
Yeah, and you're going to by default, right? But you need to know what the young viewers like and how they feel about things. What do they think is hot? And so, and even just edit styles, right? There was a lot of like, these kid nerds, they're 15 years old. They'll have a big old page and they get a new style of editing and they'll like redefine what the whole thing is. So for me, it was like, what was it? It was MySpace and Facebook early on. I was like branding on MySpace. It's crazy. And then Facebook started. It's like, oh, you can have a fan page in Facebook. What was that? Like 05, 06? Yeah. And then I had like, there was like 15 fake professor pages. I got in touch with Facebook,
Yeah.
merged them all under one, which was fire. Like overnight, I had like 20K, whatever. It was hard to have a mass following because nobody even thinking about social media.
Yeah. Right.
And then we come to YouTube, and like I said, I'm seeing the clips. I start my own page in efforts to get more live shows because you can get a DM. So it's like, here's my booking address. I was getting international bookings through that, especially when A1 ended and opportunities were less. And then Instagram came out like 2011. And I remember I'm thinking how people think about threads and TikTok, like, oh, we got to go crazy when the platform just begins. I was thinking that way about Instagram.
Okay.
Because I'm like, look, it's an empty database, just like 04 when YouTube started. It's empty or whatever. So I was taking my A1 clips, taking whatever I was doing at that time, spamming it, paying for shout outs on big pages. You could buy a little shout out on them. Yep. Kick was like the WhatsApp before the WhatsApp.
Uh-oh.
And you could pay for these little shout outs. So I just flooded it. I got to 1 million in a month.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, $1 million a month. It was going crazy. And then
we got to, I got something.
As it got more saturated, Instagram just got like, it's funny because you can still do it and go crazy, but it gets harder and harder to grow. Now it's just more about viewership. People don't want to follow people as much. There's so many journeys. I can see you for hours tell about all the YouTube journeys too, from like even recently, like YouTube Shorts when it was a huge game changer. YouTube's way harder now. It's on the long form tip, but way easier on the short form. There's so many things, man.
Yeah, I think people don't want to miss that point though. Like that was the insight about the different metrics that you're paying attention to today versus before.
Yeah.
Where, okay, let's do a case study on this 1 million followers from 0 to in 30 days. But then also when we think about today, well, it's not really necessarily about how many followers you have, but what's the viewership?
Not as important.
It's still important.
It's still going to bring you that respect.
Exactly.
Because somebody going to say, dang.
But the viewership, though, is weighted more because, like, you're getting paid on how many views you're getting versus how many followers you got.
Correct. And then advertisers can be like, oh, this dude's on a wave right now. If you only got 50, 70K, but you'd be like, yo, this dude's doing millions every time out or a couple 100,000 every time out. This will be a good ad spend. We can go in with him. That's why, like, now micro influencers make a solid career. I got homies. I don't know how many hoop creator homies from him to this dude who's with me in the studio now to my other good friend Ant. They don't like, they were doing business before 100K, like making a career off.
Right. Yeah, that's dope. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're gonna unpack that. So, let's go back again. Let's go back in time because we
got sidetracked.
Yeah. No, it's good. No, it's good. We're going, back to the future. Then we're gonna go back. But so you talked about obviously hot sauce and the different and one legends and different basketball legends. Yep. So now when it comes to the NBA, like growing up, like your affinity towards basketball or players, like who were you? I'm gonna take a guess here just based on my research, and I may be a little bit off, but was AI a person that, as far as the NBA is concerned, was that your guy or someone else? Like who in the NBA was you like following, watching?
Well, I'm born Jordan's rookie year, so I'm a Jordan.
Okay.
By the time I was already into basketball, by the time I was like 5 years old, so I started watching Michael Jordan in 1989. Okay. And I was like a super, Jordan fan. So I always been a fan of players, less a team, because like the Blazers were never like as good or whatever, and just the marketing of Michael Jordan's like everybody.
Be like Mike
for the most part. Yeah, it won't be like Mike. And then when Iverson came in, he was like so relatable. And I think it's like I was just meant to play like flashier version of basketball because I was already into it before Iverson and before and one. Like when I would play, I always had like a handle, a no look pass. And, like I was going between the legs, like I think before and one. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, it's just like in me. Like I love the Showtime aspect of the game. But I think it started with Jordan though. Jordan, people forget.
He was
putting on a show. He gonna embarrass you in his own way, whether it was dunking on you, scoring 40, whatever it was. But then when Iverson came in there with that crossover, my trainer at the time was a big part of my ball handling journey. Shout out to Rodney Howard. This dude's amazing ball handling teacher. And so it was before people had trainers, right? I had a trainer when I was in 4th grade. My parents were just dedicated to helping me develop as a hooper. So he showed me the Iverson crossover, and I learned it within like a week. Like I picked up things very fast. And then I could cross over adults, and I was always like, I always looked 10 years younger than I am. So I'm literally this tall and like crossing over adults.
Yeah, like, oh man, who's this kid?
With the AI cross.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, but no, I love Iverson. Like every
Yeah.
time I see him, I'm like back to being a kid again.
For real.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, is it any games that you call back to mind or replay in your head about like, man, that game was so cold. Like, is there anything that?
Quite a few. I mean, it's funny. I feel like also being in the digital era, I've lived with my footage my whole career. Like, I never go see a game and be like, oh, I forgot about, like, very rarely, right? Because I've seen my whole footage from compilations to documentary to this throwback Thursday. You know, you used to do that back in the day. You know, like, I feel like I've sat with my footage for a long time.
Got it.
But the ones that stand out, like Madison Square Garden, game winner, you mentioned that. We didn't go into detail about that, but that, you're playing with Iverson. My first NBA collab. I used to go on a tour with Iverson. It was the last time he played 5-on-5.
Oh man, tell me about that. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. What was it? So we, after And1 ended, another tour tried to rebuild And1. It's kind of an unsuccessful attempt, but we had some great events. But basically, it was called Ball Up, and then Iverson did a tour in China, and so it really was the AI tour, but we were the players.
Okay.
And so I got to be on his team for like 3 games in China. This is 2012. I think it was the last time he played 5-on-5. The only time I actually played after that, I think, was when the big 3 had me play like a few games and he stopped midway through.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, it was an honor, bro. I mean, he just sharing the court. It's crazy. He hit the 2, I was at the 1. Like, man. It's like, it's crazy. Yeah.
So like you said, so you really grew up, like you knew this was your thing. Ball is life, so to speak.
Super, yeah.
Yeah, so was there a time when you realized that it is bigger than basketball? Especially when you think about the business side of things, like when do you start to develop that aspect of things when it was more than just basketball?
Oh, well, when I'd say more just like in life with like my faith journey.
Yeah.
You know, I'm Christian, so I accepted Christ in like 2011. So that was a big turning point in my life. Started to think bigger than basketball and just like, look, hang out, partying, and basketball was like everything for me in the 2000s. So I think for me, that was like more of like a wake up call to just life in general. But as far as like the business side, it was still basketball. You know, like even when content started, you know, I guess like, look, got an assistant. Yeah, get some videographers, and it's like, oh, this is a company. So there's no other creators, right? I'm the first sports creator, all sports to do it. So I kind of figured it out as I went, and I was just doing what worked. But it was hard because there's no business model. So it was constantly just exploring, like being a business owner. It was like a slow crawl to like learning that, and like being a media company. Not even saying that, right? But that's what it was.
Right.
And then I think my first campaign was like 2012. It was like a Jolly Rancher campaign or something like that. And I was like, oh, you can make money off this? But like I didn't think it would be as frequent as today.
Hey.
But I did know the social, I was like, it's like TV. I would always say that. It's like TV. But I didn't think it would be, I didn't think it would beat TV, right? YouTube's the number one.
Yeah.
Like I never thought it would be that big. But anyway, yeah. So I'd say around 2010, I was just kind of just figuring out, waking up to business and, you know, expanding my mind, doing a hoop vlog. Like I never thought anybody would be interested in the personal life because I was branding my social media just like And1. So it's like, this is a mixtape, right? Here's the highlights in a different way, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's
absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, one of the questions that I had with that is that also, when you think about that aspect, you know, somebody coming onto the court, you had that level of individualism, right? You had that raw expression that was there on the court. And so, was there any aspect of being on the court, or just who you were on the court, right? The professor on the court, that translated to the business world that went with you?
Oh, I think the sense of competitiveness. Okay. I think, sense of competitiveness. I wanted to continue my legacy because it could have ended at And1 easily. Like you just get left, right? Like, man, you know, in old media, you get forgotten quick. Right. You know what I mean? Like I remember And1 ended in 2008. Our endorsement deals ended. I would do one-off, like, you know, there's licensees overseas with And1, so we would do business with them directly. Like, I would do, like, overseas only, right? That's where Global Hooper came from. I was actually calling myself Global Hooper. I was trying to rename myself.
Oh,
you know,
okay.
Like you know, Puff Daddy was P. Diddy, and I was, like, the rapper that said that's hot. Because I was like, And1's, it's over. I was like, let's rebrand, let's do something different. So that's what I was thinking. And then, Yeah, I went to a UCLA game, 2009.
Okay.
Didn't even get recognized. One person came up to me
Wow.
and they were like, "Hey, didn't you play in like a tournament or something on TV or something?" One person.
Mm.
Just the year before that, just 12 months before that, or less than a year before that, if I went to a game, I'm bringing the security for sure. Like UCLA game was just a mob, right?
Right. Let's talk about visibility.
Bro, I sat mid-level, didn't even sit on the court and like nothing. But that's old media. So I also was thinking like a Hoover, like trying to be competitive and be legacy minded. Like we need to keep this thing going. So I think mainly just being competitive and trying to study media just like you would study the game. And then have your own spin. Maybe have your own style. There you go.
Yeah.
I tried to have my own style with it because I saw like even when like came out with trends and people did it, I would just do it in a basketball way. Like, who cares? It doesn't matter. This is going crazy. It's not good enough. It's great. I'll take the trend sound and make it into a basketball. I feel like I started that. Like I think I started the viral ankle breaker or just being an individual influencer. And then also when a trend comes out, like just do it your own way. So like in basketball now they do the beat drop like off the heezy or ankle break. Like I would just do that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. I think I've got some more questions too that he want to ask about like, you know, if it was a moment in time, but I'll let him do that.
Sure.
Before we get to that, let's walk through the garden, the Madison Square Garden, like, because that was big, that was epic. I mean, it was what, over 10,000 people. I mean, Madison Square Garden, over 20,000 people, right? So like, that's a lot going on. So walk me through that experience.
I think for viewers watching this that wouldn't know, and was like competing with the NBA, which is like crazy, right? It was on TV much more than the NBA, right? Like, cause like there's only like 4 or 5 shows on ESPN, and there's only like 3 sports channels: the ESPN 1, 2, and maybe if sports came on a different channel for like the NBA game or something.
Right.
So they would always take the hottest show at the time, and then they would marathon it all night with the programming. So like streetball could air 50 to 100 times on the week, like or more. Like I don't know how many, maybe like 15 a day.
Yeah.
So that thing would just like spin crazy. So like we sold out Madison Square Garden, you know, NBA arenas or whatever. So, but this is our first time doing that. And then like, and one, you know, the heart of it is New York, right? Like it started by
Rucker.
main event, Shane, Half Man, you know, Headache. These are the Rucker All-Stars. So and one is the Rucker All-Star. Then they start bringing people from the other regions. You know, so like this is like the home game for and one. And then like everybody was at that game. Like your favorite rapper was there, the NBA players, like everybody was at this game. And I was nervous at first. I was nervous, like, man, like you gonna be tested this game, you know. And we didn't have our own. Like I said, nowadays you got social media. You can recover. You have a bad outing, you just recover real quick or post what you want to post. But this was like, no, this is like stamped, and it's not like the NBA where we play again the next night, like you know. So I was just hoping I played well, and luckily it just came out amazing. But
yeah, I mean, game winners.
So actually, I don't know if I played as much the first half. We probably had 20 dudes on the bench, right? Street ball was real, just they just throwing it together. We had celebrity, like I think was DJ Clue on the bench. Like a lot of people was just like on the team, you know, and then there was like New York legends at the time or whatever. And then toward the end when I started to catch fire, they started like leave me in or whatever. A lot of it was predicated off what the crowd was loving, but also what was working. And so they left me, and I think I played the whole 4th quarter, and I started to really get in a groove when Prime Objective, he had like an ISO on me, try to go between my legs. Yeah. I totally saw it coming. And then like I stopped it, you know what I'm saying? I like looked back at him and I was like, you know what I'm saying? I gave him come on, you know what I mean? And then I went the length of the court. I threw this alley-oop to Helicopter.
Yep.
And they like,
he went and got it.
Bro, the roof almost came off Madison Square Garden. This is like game 7 energy, right? And then I think a couple plays later, it's like basically we're thinking that one has the last shot, and I think Sick would have hit the shot with like less than a second left. Sick would have hella good too. You don't get enough credit. Basically, he hit the game winner. You know what I'm saying? Like from the corner. And so I'm thinking we're gonna lose probably because we're like supposed to lose anyway. Not supposed to. It's a real game, but like if we did, it's no problem. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna be happier that way anyway. But I was like, hey man, we do got one more shot. We might as well try to win it.
Yeah.
And so in the huddle, I don't even know why it was like decided that I was supposed to shoot it.
Yeah.
We had like Future was there, like other street ball
Right.
legends. They're like, no, you. I was like,
Get the ball to the professor.
yeah, all right, but it was a little less pressure too, because no, there's a lot of pressure at the same time, but
Right.
also less because you miss it and T-Man 1-1. It's like they're supposed to anyway.
Mhm.
But yeah, somehow I got the inbound. It happened real quick. They sent us out of the huddles like, hurry up and let's go, because it's street ball.
Right.
And so I caught the ball from like Steph Curry range and nobody was there. So I just like let it go. And then it went in and buzzer sounded and pandemonium. Switch. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
All right, so I want to go ahead and ask a few questions, right? These are going to be like just first thing that comes in your mind, right, when you think about
Rapid
this.
fire.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
So I was talking about 2003. Professor steps on the court, right? If you would think about any other moment in culture,
Mhm.
right? What would be a similar moment? What would be an equivalent moment to that? Like, what would be the analogy?
It was 8 Mile.
Okay,
This is
look
8
at that.
Mile. This is maybe a little bit rocky. Maybe what's that one movie? What's some Rudy? Maybe a little bit
Yeah,
of Rudy.
yeah,
there we go.
But more skills though. That's what comes to mind.
Okay.
Some sort of overcoming the odds type thing.
Yeah.
Of course.
You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance
Yeah.
to blow. Yeah.
Exactly,
yeah,
bro.
yeah.
One shot. That's how
Yeah.
I was doing it too though.
Right. Right.
Really looking at it like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
If you would be another thing we like to ask, right? You take yourself, right? And the style you play, the
Mhm.
stuff that you've done and so forth. If your career was a playlist, right?
Mhm.
What would be the top 3 songs on there?
Oh dang. That's a tough one.
That's fire. Let's see what he got for
That's
us.
a tough one. Well, we're gonna go ahead and put that song, Lose Yourself.
Lose Yourself.
Yeah,
It just
yeah.
makes sense.
It just makes sense.
That's like people call me Eminem of basketball like
Right.
my whole life. Like not a week goes by with
Right.
that reference.
Yeah.
So we're gonna throw that up there. Dang. What was my intro song? Touch the Sky, Kanye. That was my intro song, like a lot of
Okay.
my N1
Right.
career. I'm trying to think of what was hot back then. So 50 Cent.
Oh man, that wasn't wait. Actually, coincided exactly because Get Rich or Die Trying.
Yeah,
Volume 3,
super.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like 50 Cent, it was
Yeah.
Dipset,
Yeah.
it was Eminem. Dang, third track. That's a tough one. Something Jay-Z. It'd be something
Okay,
Jay-Z.
yeah.
Maybe Encore.
Encore,
Something
there you
like
go.
that. I don't know.
No.
I'm trying to think what I was listening to back then. Yeah.
No, that's dope. That's dope. Makes sense. Yeah. Awesome. So let me ask you. So in terms of like, so N1 era, mixtape era, what did you learn about from the marketing aspect of things? Back then? Like, how do you carry that into like what you're doing? Like,
Quite a bit. We learn how people view basketball. Like one thing I learned, like people are always like, dang man, this thing lasted a long time for you. Like, how do you stay appealing? But one thing I think they don't know is like, if basketball is popular, then like the highlights from basketball is popular because those are the high moments of the game that's already popular.
Right.
So I feel like if you can package the highlights in a really dope, cool way, which often changes, whether that's like trend sound, whether it's just compilate, like right now, what works for me is like 4 hot highlights. It's in between 20 to 30 seconds that hit on every platform, but it's got to like almost be beat matched and have like a really dope sound to it. Yeah, so I learned that, like how people view the game. Yeah, I think like image, like an old media, what you can take from is just what I learned from is just whatever your public persona is, that's how you're received.
Right.
I think a lot of people don't think about it. It sounds so simple, but it's so true, right? Like even with the homies, like if somebody take a weird picture of me, I'm like, hold up, bro, like step back. You know what I'm saying? My boogers in my nose, it's gonna be crazy.
Right.
No, but all those little things, right? And you can't control a lot of it now in new media, but like I do think there's something to be said for like everything you put out publicly, like if it can come up on a Google search, then you'll just be received that way. And so like you learn that like every photo shoot or video. It kind of matters. These are millions of
bro.
eyes. You know what I'm saying? You don't think of it that like I just did a photo shoot recently. And
So you got to craft it.
you don't really think of it, but now if you Google, that's all that comes up. So already millions of people already seen them photos, and so that was kind of an interesting takeaway. But also, the merge of hip hop and basketball, like early on, just seeing like, man, this is like special. Like basketball and hip hop, it just goes, you know.
Okay. So those
are some things that I stand. I could probably go on for hours with stuff I learned. But
you got me thinking like, so that we need some type of collab, you know, Eminem and the Professor.
Hey man, if you can line that up, you gonna be my agent. You can line that up. So, I actually met Paul. Okay. I met his agent, right? Paul Rosenberg.
Yeah.
He never heard of me though, but he was like, he thought I was white chocolate. He was like, but no, he was cool. He didn't know me.
Yeah. No. Okay. No.
Gotta get to M though.
Yeah, for real. I think that can happen for sure. I know it can happen. Super cool. Super cool. All right. Any other last questions?
Yeah. No, I was actually really glad you mentioned that, because the way I was thinking about that was that if you think about it in a way, right? And one was the hip hop expression of basketball, right? It was a lot of individualism. Like, let's say the NBA or the NBA style would be more like, let's say, classical music or so, right?
It's literally hip hop basketball.
Yeah,
that's the best way to explain that one. I totally agree.
It's like that remix.
I used to say Globetrotters, but real. But Globetrotters is a different. It has like more of like a kid family persona nowadays.
Right.
Like not on the cool wave. It's hip hop basketball for sure. We used to say it too. Like, look, I was Eminem. AO was Diddy. Well, it's a different persona now. He was cool back then, you know what I mean? AO was Diddy, looked like him a little bit. He had that mohawk, you know what I'm saying? Remember Diddy had the mohawk?
I do remember.
Escalade was Biggie Smalls.
Okay.
Main Event was like 50 Cent.
Okay.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
We had a few parallels. Kind of.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So as we wrap things up here, one thing I wanted to ask is, you know, just along the lines of like thinking about today, and like where you're at with it now, and how you pack like the offer, how you package the offer, because we talk a lot about that, like visibility, and like you talked about like the branding yourself, your image. Like, how do you think about when you're packaging an offer? How much time do you give to that? Like, when you think about like this offer got to be right. You want to make it irresistible, right? So do you give a lot of attention?
An offer meaning?
An offer, like if you're selling a deal, whatever it is, like something that you're packaging up to sell, right? How much thought do you give?
I'm super in the weeds. Yeah, super in the weeds of it. Probably too much sometimes, but like it's hard to find the right teams that can do stuff for you and be amazing, right? So. Yeah, super. I'm actually starting an online university right now. Okay. I have like a soft version of it. It's called Crossed Up University.
Crossed Up, okay.
But yeah, I went hard. I wrote all the copy. I shot 4 or 5 programs for it. Okay. I just got a draft back of the ads. I told them they were horrible. Do them over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're spending a lot of time on.
Yeah, I think so. But I think you should too if you care about the audience, right? If I just, what's the audience supposed to think if they really found out that I dropped a product and I told a company like, you guys do it, it'll be lit. Like, it's like, do you even care about it? Right. Yeah. So I think if you want to put out anything, you want to be able to stand behind it and feel really good about it. That's how I feel, you know, with it, you know. Maybe every campaign you do is not like that because you're like endorsing another company. So I'm not going to look into it as deep, but I still got to feel good about the product or whatever we're talking about. It has to be like a good fit for brand. Yeah.
No doubt. Yeah. So keep that in mind when you're putting your offer together, you packaging it up. It got to be irresistible, right?
Super. You know, I like how you said that. I actually was telling the editor, we were talking about how to make teasers, you know, for like YouTube videos. And I used that word. I was like, bro, this thing got to be so fire. They have to watch it and they can't get enough of it. I said it needs to be irresistible. I said, think Michael Jackson, think lit. Like you thinking previews, like F out of here with this previews. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you need to think like, this is incredible. So
like in other words, like you would be crazy to say no. Like it wouldn't make sense for you to say no.
Yeah, I told him, I said, look, if Usher, Chris Brown, Michael Jackson would put together a teaser or something they got coming out, I said, think like that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Right? Our formula is 3 seconds or less, right? 3 seconds or less, you want to convey, get the person hooked, right?
Oh, you saying in terms of like standard ad? Oh, absolutely. Right from the get-go. I do it on all social media, period. with everything. We ain't captivating off the first. Me and him did a video. We did like a dribble combo.
Right.
He's actually like the world's shortest dunker. You know what I mean?
Uh-oh.
We did a dribble combo and we messed it up. We didn't do it. We always do an M or two. Like we do it, but we didn't do an M on this one, 1 million, because like in the beginning I was trying to be like nonchalant. I was like walking with hands in my pocket, and then like somebody just like threw me a ball and I started going crazy. But it was like 2 or 3 seconds with no action. And in the world, if you see how a young person views this stuff, they're just like looking for 2 seconds, what captivates, and then when they see it, you know, like on TikTok, they watch everything and fast forward now, like just a TikTok video. So if you don't captivate in the first 3 seconds, like you said, it's a tough play. Like it's just not gonna be the same.
3 seconds or less.
Yeah,
Irresistible offer. Like it has to be like, okay, I'm stupid if I don't take this. Right?
exactly.
And it's like, yeah, I was like, I want to ask one more thing, right? And I want to put you a little bit in not on the spot, but like in the zone here with the. Right?
We're on the spot.
I want to say, if being such a legendary ball handler yourself, right? You had to guard somebody one-on-one, all in their primes, right? AI, you know, Tim Hardaway, Kyrie Irving.
Oh, dang.
And I'm going to put, just because of, you know, stature he has, Steph Curry, right?
Well, I'm over for sure. No matter who.
There we go.
Hey, Tim Hardaway, people sleep on Tim
I'm about
Hardaway.
to strap up. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm gonna get ran over. But no, what's up?
Out of all these 4, right?
Yeah.
Who would you say would be the toughest to guard?
Ooh, who's the toughest to guard out of those? Let's see here. Okay. Ooh. I think that no. I think you can sort this out. I think let's see. Well, okay, I'm gonna say not Tim Hardaway only because he was like a true point. He actually was still a true point guard, even though he was like, I can't guard his crossover, right? But I'm just saying, like, he wasn't thinking bucket first like some of the other guys are, right? Like, Iverson. I mean, look, Iverson, Steph, or wait, Kyrie. I can't guard. Like, they're all impossible. But like, who's the hardest? I want to say, like, I think it would actually be like, well, here's the thing. Iverson's the hardest to stay in front of, right? Like, even his highlight mix versus Kyrie is different. Right? They can't stay in front. His left to right, his like east to west was like insane off just like a few moves, right? The crossover and a few counters out of that. But then Kyrie will get around. He's got every move in the world. But then Steph, he's gonna shoot it before you get to him.
Right.
Might be Steph though, low key, because like I don't even know if them two want to guard. Like Steph is already shooting it across half court, so you like have to pick him up at the half court line or 94 feet or something. That's tough. I would actually. I think I would say Steph or Kyrie, because you got to think though. Iverson, is like my height. He's only like a little taller than I am. I think he's like 5'11" for real. Just from hanging out, I think he's 5'11". I don't think he's 6. And then Steph and Kyrie actually big though. It's 6'3" and kind of like big shoulders. Like they're not small guys, you know. Like so, I'd say it's a toss up right there. That's why I think it's a toss up between Steph and Kyrie.
Here we go.
That's what I would say. The one-on-one, they're both.
You heard it here first.
It's crazy. I mean, I can't guard if I'm being real, but
cool. No, we appreciate it.
They'll have their hands full with you too. So
I'm gonna get some moves off. That's what I always tell people. They be like, "How would you do in this match?" I'll be like, "Oh, get some moves off though." Like not everybody knows how to guard the trick bag. It's different. Like
absolutely.
You don't mix something up.
Yeah.
So in 2003, you know, they said the professor was cold as ice. Here we are, 2025. The professor still cold as ice. So how do you stay hungry after 20 years in the game? How do you keep that drive?
I think a lot of it was like you said, using your basketball. I'm just super competitive. Like I never really want to let it go. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I'm trying to actually hoops on 50. I'm 41 right now.
Yeah.
But also I think it's my purpose in life. I actually feel like in this season, like playing basketball, inspiring and impacting people through the game is like what I'm supposed to be doing. So if I'm doing it, I feel most aligned, you know, when I factor in God and just everything. Like I feel most aligned and I feel better. That's like what I'm supposed to be doing.
That's amazing, bro. That's
yeah. So I would say
mic drop. Mic drop.
That's what I'd say. It feels right? Like everything shows me I still should be playing, from business to how people react. I just got back from Abu Dhabi. We had the biggest park takeover in history. I collab. Big shout out to this kid, MK, doing some big numbers online. This kid, he's 25 years old, and our collab was like he's doing big crowds on his own. I did 3,000 the year before in Abu Dhabi. We went the same. I was promoting vacations with shout out to Visit Abu Dhabi, brought us out there, and the NBA partnered together. And I did a park takeover while I was out there, and there's 3,000 people just solo. And I was like, dang, this was a crazy shutdown. Like it was insane, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't know what it would look like with him, but I knew he only fresh on the scene like 6 months, maybe 3 to 6 months, but doing crazy viewership. He's getting more viewership than I am. So that collab together, we didn't know what it looked like. But bro, we're saying it's like somewhere between 7 to 10K. We couldn't even really count, but as far as you could see, I couldn't see past the people.
Yeah.
And then we got on the court and they were so excited they wouldn't actually clear the court. We had the police canceled it because it was too out of control. So people was getting knocked down. Anyway, just another evidence that things are still high in demand. And so, that's what I'll say. I just feel aligned, like hooping, and it keeps me going because I stay. And I stay inspired and energetic. Sometimes when people get toward the end of their career, they're not as like they don't have that fire and that drive and that creativity. You know, with ours, it's like entertainment as much as it's hooping. So like you need that fire and that drive. You know, so I still have it.
I appreciate it. That's dope. That's dope.
So
go ahead.
You brought up the international aspect, right? And I can say this for sure because I was actually living in India when the whole end one was at its prime.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fire. Really?
We used to watch YouTube clips, right?
Wow.
And
what year?
This was 2000s. Well, I lived for 7 years.
Oh, so YouTube was in India that early?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I didn't even know that. I didn't know when it went to India. I went to India only once in 18.
So what was there was at that time they used to have these things called cyber cafes.
Okay.
So you used to go to these little like rooms that they would have, right?
Oh, the internet cafes.
Yes,
that was international. I remember that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You'd rent the things and you'd watch stuff, right? Here's one thing I can vouch for, right? Because everybody who's been in that era, they would know. A lot of people who didn't really watch NBA or followed NBA, they got into basketball because of people like you, yourself, Hot Sauce, Helicopter, right? Because they would be saying that, oh, this is the extent you can take this to. I can go do these moves on the basketball court. I can learn how to do these things, right? So for them who don't really understand the gravity of the NBA, the gravity of pro sports or professional basketball, a lot of them, they understood this is what basketball can be by watching highlights like yours and watching your videos.
You saw it in like new light. I was the same though, because I was a fan before I got on there.
Yeah.
It was very like relatable, and then like take the moves and go outside and work on them. I totally agree. That's crazy.
So you brought like
India though. Hey, that's crazy. That means a lot, bro. That's fire. Wow.
You brought millions of people to the game. I'll just say that much. More than a lot of NBA players. So.
Humble, man. Super humble. That's crazy. That means a lot. I got to get back to India.
For sure. Yeah.
Sure.
So what years were you there?
2003 to 10.
Dang. I didn't know when YouTube went to India. I didn't know it. So right from the get go.
Yeah.
I remember when I first was on YouTube, it was in like 15 countries.
Right.
15 or 20 or something like that. Yeah.
Cool. So you told us a little bit about like what you're working on with the online piece in terms of like what your current projects are. Perhaps help the viewers, audience, know what you're doing. I know we got our shirts from globalhooper.com.
Hey man, super appreciate y'all. That's fire.
So we appreciate.
Call it Space Jam with swag.
Yep. Yeah. It's actually was it Hip Hop Space Jam? Hip Hop Looney Tunes.
There we go. Yeah.
I can't remember. Remember, it was a genre in the 90s.
Yeah.
So it was like a bring back. we did a YouTube series around it. But no, I appreciate you guys repping, man. Yeah, you can check my merch out at globalhooper.com. But you actually could find all my social media on my website. You go to theprofessorlive.com. But social, everything's either Professor Live or The Professor. Check me out, man. YouTube is my main one, but all platforms.
Yeah, over 8 million subscribers, so and counting. So appreciate you for joining us on Culture X Commerce, and till next time.
Thank you guys, man.
Hey, and contribute to the conversation. Go ahead, leave your thoughts, your comments, and we look forward to responding. Appreciate you.